Not a long introduction. I have a few songs for you, but I'm going to start with a poem because before I started writing music, I started writing poetry. Yeah. You said, oh, God? All right. Hopefully it's not an oh, God. Gotcha. Cool. So many actions are the bastard children of responsibility nobody wants to claim. I've become an orphanage of resentments, looking for at least one apology to become a parent. I looked my dad in the eyes last night. I looked my dad in the eyes last night. I said, I looked my dad in the eyes last night. He wasn't next to me on the roads I've traveled on, but still, like shotgun with no bullets, he was no pops. He was more like an astronaut. When it came to me, he loved the space. There was no playing catch on Sunday mornings. Every day was New Year's with him. He always dropped the ball. I was taught to never build walls, yet the wall is the only thing that ever threw the ball back to me. All jokes aside, after my father made me, he wanted to name me Jesus. It was as if he already knew one day I'd be dead to him. There were no piggyback rides. The closest I got to his shoulders and my expectation that eventually he'd let me down. Maybe he was saving his energy for far more important things because he acted like such an environmentalist, like his son didn't need an outlet. He swore my mom would pin me against him, but in all honesty, my grudge tasted like silence. And how often is silence the native tongue of pain, of lonely, of broken promise? I spent so much time sleeping on his stomach as a child. How could I have not known he was so full of shit? My father was Mr. Time Zone. His hands were always in different places simultaneously. When I would stay and visit with him the few times that I did, I remembered he used to keep loose change around his apartment. It must have been his own small way of reminding himself he needed to do so. I like to think I believe in God, but how convenient of me to leave out forgiveness every time I think of the man that made me. I don't want to be angry anymore. It's too easy. Saying I never knew him gets old. Is baggage still baggage if I'm the one that chooses to pack it? I've made a map of his faults, thinking that would help me find him, the real him. I've outlined his mistakes too many times. I've called him shadow without ever asking why he was so dark in the first place. I've called him absent, like I never chose to not show up for something important myself. I made it seem like I never started something I never finished. How many beaches does it take to prove there is an ocean? In other words, how much bitching does it take to prove how much I cried? Since once those tears fell off my face, they became water under the bridge anyways. Maybe I deserve this feeling if that's where I choose to swim. The phone I wrote this on is the same one I act like I don't know how to use. I go out of my way to read about celebrities and the speculations I have on their lives and their addictions, yet have no clue about why my father had his own. My he could have done betters are getting too heavy. Blame is too steady to remember he used to love cigars, and I could be like his ashtray. Either put him out or help him handle his fire. I saw the loss in his vacant, the little boy in his hands. I imagine how often his age must show up now in the times he misses the toilet and in reaching for alarm clocks. In the kitchen, I saw the son he was, and I was waiting for him to smile, but how dare I call him the coward, though, when there I was at 2 a.m., magnifying his picture on my phone so I can get on some stage somewhere and tell you guys that I looked my dad in the eyes last night. That I looked my dad in the eyes last night. That I looked my dad in the eyes last night without him ever knowing that I was thinking of him. Thank you, guys.